Hey, good morning guys, Reza here from Budget Audio Reviews. I'm doing something different today. I'm gonna let you guys walk through where I normally hang out, which is my workplace at Bugis Junction, just behind me. I'm gonna bring the camera around. So right behind me is Bugis Junction, and opposite the street is Liangxia Street. Those are all the coffee shops and the common areas that we local Singaporeans will hang out in the coffee shops. I'll flip the camera around again and walk you through towards the coffee shop, and that's where I'll be doing the review later. So this is typically the morning traffic right now at about 9:50 in the morning. Pretty busy still. There's a Grab drop-off point, and right across the street is the coffee shops and eateries, the local eateries over here. So I hope those of you guys that are not from Singapore, you have an idea and flavor of what we have. These are pretty much old buildings, and the new buildings are on the opposite side. And here's the coffee shop that I usually have my kopi. Alright, they have the local food. It's chicken rice stall. And right there in the corner, there's the coffee shop, the drink stall. Yes, so here's what we call the local fried bihun, fried noodles with fried eggs and luncheon meat, and that's a nice cup of strong local coffee. And typically this is what you'll see in a local coffee shop, right? Stalls, and it goes far in, and along the street it's really busy, buses passing by. There's a bus stop there, and then we have the enforcement officer here, just to make sure that vehicles do not drive by into the bus lane. So yeah, Singapore is a pretty unique place. I hope you enjoy this introduction just before the review of the Tri-i4. Hey guys, I just realized that I had to change location. I was just across the street. If you could see that bus stop there, I was just from the coffee shop in the corner. I'm now in the building right opposite. This is the food court. I'm right in the corner of the food court here, where it's a bit more quiet. I realized that the ambient noise of the buses and everything would be too loud and will not be good for the video. So although you're hearing some renovation noises here, some jackhammers, I'll be putting on the mic on my body, so I hope that the audio will be a bit better. Okay guys, let's get back to the meat of the review. Alright, just an overview about the Tri-i4. It's quite an old model. It was released sometime late 2019. It comes with one dynamic driver, 10mm driver, with one Knowles BA. In terms of configuration, they are very similar to the Eco OH10, which is 1DD, 1BA. So during this video, I'll do a one-to-one comparison along the way between the Tri-i4 and the Eco OH10. In terms of price, the OH10 is about 3.5 times to 4 times the price of the i4. Because right now the i4, you can get this on AliExpress for Singapore dollars, $66 during this sale period. Really cheap. So for US dollars, I think it's about 45, 80 US dollars or so. It's an incredible deal. So I purchased this i4 probably in the first week of January, first to second week of January. So I've been using it extensively for the past 3 months. Definitely putting in over 50 hours of listening time, both during commute, during home use, using it for watching videos, and mostly of course music. So my stack would be, it has gone from basic stack with the dongle decks, with the hip deck. So just to show you guys what I've used it with. So it's been used with my Samsung Galaxy S10, which is this camera here. I've used it with the Samsung USB dongle deck. I've used it with the Apple dongle deck. and currently I am using it with the i5 hip deck. So the hip deck is an incredible piece of gear, and I really enjoy the sound signature of the hip deck. I'll probably do another video just specifically for the hip deck, but today we'll get back to the Tri-i4. So the Tri-i4 for me, I really took my time, and I didn't want to rush making this video. So you know, it's been 3 months plus, you know, because it's a piece of gear that I purchased with my own money, so I'm in no rush to push out a video. I'm in no rush to push out a review, so there's no stress to making a video or making some content. So here we go. So the surprising thing is I like this so much, but I don't exactly know why I like it so much. From the first day when I bought it with the stock tips, stock cables, it was really boom, beautiful, I love it, but I don't know why I like it so much. Over time I've come to realize that it is the signature of the mids, and how the bass and trebles have that nice neat balance of not being overly boosted on the bass or overly boosted on the trebles. So this is a U shape, a very mild U shape kind of a sound, where the mids, it's not forward, it's probably in line with the rest of the mix, or just slightly behind. So some have said that this is a mild V. I don't think it's a mild V. I think it's a very gentle U-shape kind of a tuning, and it suits my listening preference so much that I just keep coming back to this one. Regardless of how many other IEMs I have, I always come back to this one. Now, the surprising thing was one day, about a month plus ago, we had a gathering of audio enthusiasts, and we met up at Zeppelin. And out of curiosity, I wanted to try the Audio Technica R70X, and because I already had the AD900X, so I wanted to see a step up from the 900X and see what that sound would be. So I've read good things about the R70X, so I took a listen to R70X, and to my surprise, the R70X sounds so much like the i4. If I flip it the other way around, the i4 sounds so much like the R70X. Now, if you look at the marketing material and what Audio Technica has said about the R70X is what they call a reference tuned headphone. Alright, so the R70X is made to monitor music, alright, and tune for monitoring and reference purposes. Now that's incredible. So what I understand now, that the i4 now can be considered, if I put it in that same you know, sound signature that is as similar as the R70X, then the i4 is for reference. It has that reference sound, it has that monitoring sound that you could use. That's what Daniel from ORDO said to me when I bought this. He said this, for some, can be a fairly boring piece of IEM. I personally don't find it boring. So I asked him, why do some people find it boring? So he said it's boring because there's nothing that stands out. It feels rather flat-ish. So I thought, okay, but I really like this sound. So it's not boring to me. Again, that's why audio is such an incredible hobby, because it's also subjective. It's just like art. So coming back to the i4 here, you can see this is truly a piece of art. Let's work down from the aesthetics right down to the sound. So aesthetically speaking, this is like a piece of jewelry that you would want to use on your body. Alright, just look at that beautiful shell. I've used this for months and I'm very surprised there's no scratches, nothing on it. I do take care of it. It's being carried in a case, something like this. But you know, there's a high level of durability to this shell. It's a high level of durability up to the MMCX. Not too bad. I've taken this in and out a few times. No issues so far, and they're still good and firm. But you know, don't test your luck on this, guys. Overall, the shell is nicely polished with this. I love this blue, incredible, and that feel of the IEM. All in all, is just amazing. So this is a beautiful piece of audio gear that you want to use on a regular basis. All right. Next, we talk about the review setup. So to be honest, I don't run this guy's stock at all, and this review is based on the i4 using the BGVP Art Magic VG4 tips here. Alright, this ones you cannot get it through AliExpress or Shopee or any places like that. You do have to contact BGVP directly and ask them to send you a batch of these tips, maybe 10 pairs or something like that. But they're really cheap. I got it from Daniel from ORDO because he had some spare tips like this, and I bought some from him. So this tips, what it does, it helps to bring out and you know, eke out that flavor of the mids a little bit more, which the i4 is really amazing for. And next would be the cables. I am using the nice HCK 16 core high purity copper cable. These are beautiful cables. I like how they look, I like how they feel. So when I use earphones, I think everything must come as a package, so it has to be an experience for you when you listen to your music. It's not just what gets pumped into your ears, but overall, as you're wearing the gear, wearing the equipment, everything has to, you know, tell a story or feel like you're doing something overall. So I think cables play a big role, you know, from at least from the haptics perspective, from the feel and visual look of it. Whether it actually affects the sound quality, again, that's just so subjective. It's such a huge argument for eons, so let's not get there today. Alright, so coming to the i4 sound signature, or should I say, let's break it down from bass, mids, trebles, imaging, separation, and timbre and tone. Okay, so the bass of the i4, it's got that nice good sub bass. It's not that quick. It's not as quick as the OH10. OH10 bass tends to hit hard and then it pulls out very quickly. So because of that, the OH10 has a higher amount of air in the sound, a slightly wider kind of sound. So the i4, on the other hand, has nice good bass, sub bass, where you feel that rumble, and then it goes over to the mid bass. It gives a good thump, and then it stays there for a while before the mids come in. So the good thing about the bass on the i4 is it doesn't color the mids, but it gives the body to the music, gives the body to the sound. So bass is great. You can feel that solid sounds if you're listening to, let's say, rap, hip hop, pop, and for this video I'll make reference to Utada Hikaru's automatic album, which is In My Room. So in that track, it's a very multi-layered track. You can have panning voices from left to right. You have good bass lines, which is the bass drums and also the bass guitars. It's probably all synthesizers, you know, but the i4 is able to deliver the bass quantity and quality in that track. And from there we'll move next to the mids, which is the vocals. So the i4 can reproduce amazingly incredible, natural, full and luscious sounding vocals. So that's a lot of words right there. So listening to Utada Hikaru's In My Room, you know, the beginning of the track, between I think 47 seconds to about 57 seconds, within that 10 seconds or so, you can hear her voice being layered. All right, the track is being layered, her vocals is being layered. Man, that section there, it sounds so sexy, it's so intimate, it's so close. You can feel her so close to you, and it's just a, you know, visceral experience. It's hard to explain how good that sounds as compared to the OH10. Within the same section of that track, the OH10 sounds maybe too precise. It's really accurate. You don't have a emotional connection to the music. So the OH10 has that clarity, has that precision to the sound, but you lose some of that emotional connection to the music. Alright, so the i4's mids allow you to connect to the music a little bit more. You're up there, it's real close to you. Next we go to trebles. So if you are a treble head and you're able to withstand sibilants and sounds, and you look for that high-end, top-end sparkle to your trebles, the i4 is not there. Although I would say the i4's treble is accurate, it's just like the R70X. You can hear everything in the treble range, from crash cymbals, splash cymbals, you know, chimes and everything like that. You will hear all those things correctly. You will hear them as accordingly as how it's tracked, or should I say maybe the timbre in real life sound, but you will not have that added extension to, let's say, chimes. You will not have that added extension to, let's say, the crash cymbals and the splash cymbals. So you will not hear the trebles trailing off you know, far. So the trebles, again, they are rolled off a little bit earlier, and I do enjoy that because then it's not too fatiguing for me. So the i4 is something that I can listen to hours on end without being tired. So these guys are well tuned for long listening sessions. Let's get down to imaging. So the i4's imaging is very accurate. So if you listen to Hotel California 1994 live, you listen to Buena Vista Social Club's Chan Chan, or even their live albums, especially Chan Chan, when you're inside that studio, you can hear everything, where the drums is going, where the percussions are going, where the vocals, the trumpets, everything is going on well within that space of the room. So you will not lose anything from the imaging perspective. Now we move on to the soundstage. All right, so the i4 soundstage is more of a close-up studio style sound versus the OH10, where you get a very brilliant high height and wide, like a hall-like sound. So the OH10, by comparison, gives you that very wide presentation, very clear, very up top, very airy kind of sound, versus the i4 gives a very grounded, earthy sound. So let's talk about, now we talk about the timbre and tone. So these guys, they have that very natural timbre. So for example, timbre we can relate to the sound of instruments like pianos, acoustic guitars, nylon strings and all that. So timbre is the accuracy of the sound as it is to how it is in real life. So if you're looking at guitar tracks and all that, you will hear nylon, especially nylon strings. You will hear the nylon strings as it is in real life. You will not be hearing anything that is overly extended. For example, nylon strings could sound a little plasticky. Folk strings, steel strings guitars could sound overly metallic, overly steely. So not with the i4. The i4 gives you as it is. So therefore, these guys are very equal to the R70X, the Audio Technica. So when I listen to the R70X, I get the same feeling. Nylon strings stays as nylon strings, steel guitar stays as steel guitars. They don't get any more steely or plasticky. Versus the OH10. OH10 gives you that treble extension. The OH10 gives you that added sparkle to the music. So the OH10, for you, if you like that added extension to the trebles and added clarity to the sound, OH10 is for you. Time to time, I like that sound for Diana Krall's Live in Paris. If I want that added sparkle to the sound for the live tracks, I will use the OH10. But the OH10 is something that I will not use for Utada Hikaru's Automatic album, for Eminem's tracks, for example, Music to Be Murdered By, that album, or Kamikaze. I will not use the OH10 for Eminem. I would use the i4 for Eminem. So Seth MacFarlane's albums, his vocals are well presented here as well. So coming back, I'm going to drop back into the mids. So male vocals, brilliantly done on the i4. So male vocals have that same kind of a natural sound to the male vocals. It's thicker, it's fuller, it's not thin. So on a OH10, Seth MacFarlane's voice would come out a little airy, overly airy. Okay, so next thing we talk about, let's talk about that tone. So tone. We either have a very hot tone, cold tone. All right, so this guy, it's neutral, right in the middle, with a bit of what we call tube-like tone. So if you've listened to maybe tube buffer amps or tube amps, I've had experience with tube buffers. So I've used the FX Audio Tube 03, which is a tube buffer, and I use the GE 5654W, and I use those with headphones, like for example the AD900X, the 58X, and the Hi-Fi Mans and all that. So yes, the tube buffers do give that slightly in that sense warmer sound. It gives that fuller sound. It bolsters the mids a little bit more. So again, these guys have that tube-like sound. It's not crisp, it's not overly crisp. So if you want overly crisp sounds, OH10. You want that neutral warm, neutral tube-like sound, all right in the middle kind of sound, then the i4 is it. So overall, I think if you're looking for that neutral warm, neutral without overly boosted trebles, a bit more intimate presentation, then the i4 is for you. Now look, we're talking about budget now. So the i4 is at about Singapore $66 now. That's almost 4 times the price. The OH10 is almost 4 times the price. So from a value perspective, I think this one, you can use this for a long time. The only negative aspect of the i4 is actually the MMCX. That's all. So get a nice cable which you can plug in and not remove at all. So I would just recommend, this is about $10-12 Singapore dollars 14 at max if you get the 4.4mm balance plug. Other than that, get this guys, plug it in and don't remove it at all, and just enjoy the i4 for months on end. Next thing is just drop a note to BGVP, get these tips, the Art Magic VG4 tips, and you're good to go for a long period of time. If you're like me who enjoy the mid-range of the music a bit more, then these guys will last you a long time. I've enjoyed this for 3 months and I'll enjoy it for months on end. In fact, because of the i4, I've stopped looking for the what's next. What's next coming to me has just been companies coming to me and saying, "Oh Reza, would you like to review this piece? Would you like to review that piece?" So I did have the BQEYZ K1, the K-Bear Lark. Next I have the Weezer HE01 coming. So those things, you know, I'm very blessed to have companies approaching me to review their products. Other than that, I'm really happy that I've made this purchase. I'm really happy I've made this purchase. This took me a while. I wasn't happy with the C Audio Yume. That's the reason why I sold it. The Yume was not my listening preference. It had a lot of hype around the Yume, yada, Harman 2020, yada, but it just doesn't suit me. So if it suits you, great, you know, more power to you. Other than that, sell the gear, get rid of it, get something that you might like. So these two pieces of gear, they've really served me well over the past couple of months. And you know, I'm not looking for the what's next, but rather I'm looking now for, you know, within the budget range of 20 to 50 Singapore dollars, what could serve you, my audience, a little bit better. So I'm looking at the Blonde BL05S right now, according to a friend of mine, quite an expert audiophile. So he said that one, for its price, is quite an incredible critical listening kind of a IEM, very detailed. So I'm really curious to see what the BL05S has to offer at that particular price. And once I'm done, I'll share it with you. So again, I paid using my own money for the i4, and I can give it a 5 thumbs up if possible. Alright, so enjoy this i4 for a long time to come. Thanks so much for watching this video, and let me carry on for the past 20 minutes or so. So do hit that like, share and subscribe the video. Other than that, I'm really happy to share about this piece of awesome gear to you guys. Alright guys, so thanks so much for watching. Here's the i4 for you again in a close-up look. Alright, really shiny, really cool. I love it. Take care guys, stay safe, wear that mask, drink some coffee. Take care and see you soon.